Alright, what is up guys? Bringing you guys a new video. Haven't brought you guys a video in a while, but I think I'm gonna get more consistent with it because there's a lot that's happening in the gaming world that needs to be covered. A lot of interesting news, a lot of crazy developments right now. So Battlefield 6 recently had its open beta for 2 weekends and was very well received by a lot of gamers. Um and initially I didn't buy into the hype initially. Like, they had their entire multiplayer reveal event and they invited a bunch of creators out, a lot of popular streamers and YouTubers, TikTokers, just everybody who's um relevant on social media within the multiplayer gaming space, no matter what game they came from, whether it be Apex, Call of Duty, Fortnite. It didn't matter. They got invited out, played the game, and they had a lot of great things to say, and I've seen a lot of promising things. But I was like, I'm not gonna buy into this. Let me get hands on with the beta. Let me play it myself and judge for myself, because you can watch gameplay and see if it's for you or not. But I wanted to, pretty much avoid this hype cycle, because I've seen this before from certain titles where they'll invite a bunch of creators out. They have a lot of great things to say about the game. It's a great event. Everybody's there. They get free food and there's mixers and stuff like that, and the vibes are high, right? Um, but overall, the beta was really good. I enjoyed it. Got a lot of gameplay I recorded, so I'll be sharing that with you guys in the coming days and weeks, just giving my thoughts overall on the beta. But this isn't the video where I'm giving my review. I'm just giving you my analysis of what's happening right now due to the reaction, not only the community, but everybody else from the Battlefield 6 open beta, and how it's been doing crazy numbers, right? So during the beta, Battlefield 6 beta broke Call of Duty's all-time player count record on Steam. Over 500k players during the beta. Then yesterday, it was reported that there were over 20 million players on the Battlefield 6 open beta, and that's across all platforms, with a like 70 to 20% ratio from PC to console, meaning that the majority of the players were coming from PC. And I think that console ratio is going to grow even more as the game gets closer to release and more people get put onto the game. And this is news from investing.com from I think a firm called Oppenheimer. I'll leave a link in the description to the news article and share some screenshots with you guys as well, so that you guys can see that. And then yesterday, during the opening night for Gamescom, Black Ops 7 was, and the reaction to that was just so poor. I haven't seen such a poor reaction to a Call of Duty game since Infinite Warfare. Um, but I don't want people to think back to that game. Shout out to Fisticuffs. He made a video years ago talking about the social stratosphere of gaming, right? And you can't fall into these hype cycles, right? And Call of Duty's always been able to capitalize yearly off of really good marketing and advertising to build up a hype cycle for a game and have everybody say, yeah, we're so back. We are so back. And this year feels very different. And it kind of reminds me of Call of Duty Ghost. You guys have to remember, during that era from Call of Duty 4 to Black Ops 2, that was a really high point for Call of Duty in regards to being able to sell a lot of units. We're talking about tens of millions of units and breaking record after record every single year in consecutive years, right? And then with Ghost, they noticed that sudden decline. Now, no matter how you felt about the game, it was very apparent that there was a shift that was happening between the decline of the player counts and overall unit sales with Call of Duty Ghost, and transitioning into Xbox One and PS4 era. And they found that perfect time to shift from, okay, if we don't have units sold, what else can we do to make money off the game? What they did was, from Ghost to Advanced Warfare, if you guys remember, AW introduced supply drops. Even though Advanced Warfare wasn't some crazy selling game compared to their previous titles, they were able to make up the difference supply drops, because they had weapon variants, and they were able to influence the meta of the game through weapon variants. Now the modern day version of that is battle pass and bundles and selling you blueprints in an effort to be able to influence the minds of gamers, and to introduce FOMO. So if you don't have the latest meta build for Warzone, you're gonna get left out because they patched the old meta and things of that matter, right? And that's how that they were able to make up the difference in terms of revenue. Is that, hey, if we don't sell a bunch of copies, we're still able to make a bunch of money off of microtransactions and all this stuff that we're printing inside the store, right? And the counter to that is, if your player population is shrinking so much that you're not going to be able to make up that difference with microtransactions, then what are you going to do? Well, you have to spin up a new hype cycle. And this is hilarious. They recently had invited a bunch of guys out to Treyarch Studios to play Black Ops 7 earlier. You had Swag and a bunch of guys streaming from the Treyarch studio, having a little sleepover and stuff like that, and reacting to the Black Ops 7 reveal. And man, and I tell you, that was some of the hardest, borderline cringiest shit I've seen in a while in regards to just artificially trying to build up hype for the game, and looking at the comment section and watching the chat live. I seen the chat live during the Gamescom reveal, and the reception was poor. But then you go to these creators' channels who were there at Treyarch Studios reacting in real time, and to see the reaction from their community is insane. I've never seen it. It's hilarious. Like, go to their videos. I'm gonna share some screenshots in this video. Go to their videos. Look at what their fan base is saying. Go to their Twitter accounts, TikTok, everything. I feel like, Battlefield 6 isn't the biggest problem for Call of Duty. Call of Duty is not its own biggest problem right now. This is 2013 all over again. Like I said, remember Ghost? They did a similar thing during that game. They had a little esports tournament to try to build up hype for that game. You got Call of Duty next month, right? So they're gonna invite a bunch of creators, streamers, and stuff like that to get them to get hands on with the game and hype it up then. So this isn't even the tip of the spear. What's really gonna determine if Black Ops 7 is gonna be a success or not is if they're able to generate hype off of Call of Duty next. Not this reveal trailer for the campaign. People can give two shits about the campaign. The campaign of Black Ops hasn't been good since Black Ops 2. And if you want to debate that, go ahead, debate with your mother. I don't care. Black Ops hasn't been good from a story perspective since 2, but Call of Duty doesn't sell off of their campaign. It's off of multiplayer, Warzone, and maybe zombies. But the zombies community hasn't been what it's been since Black Ops 3. Right? So think back to 2013. We're coming off of Black Ops 2, right? And then Battlefield 4 was right around the corner. And then they invited a bunch of creators, Woody's Gamer Tag, Chris Smooth, all these guys out to San Francisco for the Battlefield 4 reveal, right? They were sending out care packages. Now, they did the same thing, but with a much bigger audience, right? Because, content creation and gaming on social media now is much bigger in 2025 than what it was in 2013. But the issue for COD Ghost wasn't Battlefield 4. It was GTA 5. And why was GTA 5 the issue? GTA Online stole so many players from Call of Duty that they weren't able to make additional revenue off of Call of Duty Ghost. You can even say a similar thing for Advanced Warfare. So, think about it. You got Battlefield 6 that's already killing Call of Duty because the pre-order numbers are high and the beta numbers are high, right? The state of Call of Duty has been on a decline. Cheating is a huge issue. Networking and server performance is a huge issue. And now people are talking about the skins and bundles. I don't care about that, right? Then you have some people talking about the movement. Oh my God, Omni movement this, Omni movement that. Omni movement wouldn't be an issue for people if all these other things weren't addressed. We've always had the changeover from one style to the next. Call of Duty. That changeover was Call of Duty Ghosts to Advanced Warfare when they bought jetpacks, right? And everybody had to learn and adapt to that style. But they lost players. But you had the younger generation of people coming up as well. So you had like remember Swag is from back then. Swag was like, 19, 20, 21 years old. We were on the same age. So, even though I wasn't making content on the game like that, I was still in those lobbies with those guys. Those Doom Clan guys, those pub stompers back then. Now, a lot of those pub stompers transition into Warzone. And they're getting slaughtered on Warzone because of Omni movement. So a lot of those guys in their late 20s, early 30s, who were playing back then, are gone. They're hopping on Battlefield 6. Why? They don't have, they don't have the time to sit there and go up, and they don't have the patience to go up against cheaters. And you combine Omni movement with aimbot and wall hacks and all this crazy cheats that these people have, and Chrono Zen, they don't have the time for it. So they're gonna leave the game and hop onto a different game. The issue for Call of Duty is not Battlefield. You got GTA 6 dropping next spring. What happens during that time? You have everyone that are like, all right, I'm gonna get my tax. You know how many people are gonna hop from PS4, Xbox One to PS5 and Xbox Series X and S? That's the game that's going to bring people over to the current gen. That's the game. You know what made GTA 5 still popular to this day is the fact that the game went from 360 to Xbox One, PS4 to PS5 and Xbox Series. Like I said, remember this. The issue for Call of Duty Ghost in 2013 was not Battlefield 4. It was losing players to GTA 5 when GTA Online dropped. When GTA 6 dropped, it's over. You're gonna see that player base decline. And they don't have a rabbit that they can pull out their hat like they were Verdansk this year. Because if you look at the numbers, when Verdansk dropped, that's when they started to peak again. But you can't pull another Verdansk. You already did that. So I'm saying this to say, shout out to Fisticuffs. He was right 12, 13 years ago about this. He said this about the social stratosphere of gaming, but he also said this about, he made a video about esports a while ago. Try watching Black Ops 6 esports. Watching competitive Call of Duty right now. I can watch a couple matches, but I can't stay there for too long because I'm like, yo, everybody's using the same guns. It's the same movement. It's boring. I used to watch Call of Duty esports a lot, but because they want to GA everything and they have all these artificial rules, it's not appealing to watch anymore. Hopefully this year is better for them, but I don't know. That's a different video for a different day. But like I said, Battlefield 6 is going to be successful regardless of how Black Ops 7 is received. But like I said, people are discounting the fact that GTA 6, when that shit drops in the spring, it's over. It is over. You are going to lose your player base. You're going to lose your revenue, and all the money is going to be made with that game. And then on top of that, all those people that stuck with PS4 and Xbox Series are going to come over there. Why would you make Black Ops 7 cross-gen? Why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense in my mind. EA understood, hey, in order for this game to not only perform, like from a performance standpoint on hardware, to run well and to feel as great as it does as a first-person shooter, we need to cut out cross-gen, so that we can focus on making the game as smooth as possible. But then, I don't know. You guys leave your thoughts in the comment section. This is pretty much it. I'm gonna have some other videos talking about Battlefield 6 more specifically, giving my thoughts and review on that. But yeah, this Black Ops 7 situation is going to be very interesting to follow for the next couple months.